guys, Brian Schroeder here with Buyers Club. I have Kathe Gerhardt with me with St. Louis Property Walks. So Kathe, our audience is real estate investors, fix and flippers and landlords. So can you share with our audience what St. Louis Property Walks can do to help them?
Sure. So what is STL Property Walks? I think I tried to name it, the most simple thing possible. All I do is walk properties. And I offered two options. One is I want to be your trusted service partner out there in the field. So if you're a newer investor and you just got a new deal reeled in, it's on the line, you're reeling it in. Most people call me right around that time. That they got a fish on the hook, they're trying to reel it in. And when they only got one shot to take that walkthrough appointment, and they call me in to help with that.
And you go walk it with them.
I walk it with them or without them. A lot of people are just kind of bogged down with daytime jobs and don't have time to go walk that hot deal that just came up. And what I do is I go walk the property very thoroughly, I think. And I take a little bit over 100 photos, sometimes 150 of a large property. But when I take photos, I'm not calling it Corey Boyle's, skilled photography, but I do get the important things that you need. So when I'm walking a property, that starts across the street, so we can see the parking. We want to see the street. I do a 360 around the street, and I'll take photos of all the utility systems going on in the house. So not only do I take a picture of that AC condenser, make sure your line sets are still intact, but I'm taking a picture of that label too, so we can kind of get an idea of the age of all of our systems in the house where I can do that. So, and that. What else do I do?
Well, when you're doing that, basically with a newer investor, why a newer investor would want you is because you have how many houses have you walked over the years and so forth. You got a lot of experience with this.
Yes. So I gained all my experience by the earn while you learn method. So I went to go work for a few of the larger home buying companies in town. And I have walked thousands of properties in the St. Louis metro area. I've been through around a little over 300 cash transactions. So in order to do that much volume, you have to walk 3 to 4 times the amount of homes. So I don't even know how many homes I've walked, but it's well over 1,000, probably inking up towards 2,000.
So when you're walking the house with a newer investor, you're bringing peace of mind to them that they're not missing something like the roof being bad or a foundation issue. Is that kind of the idea? Is that you're helping them to make sure that they know what they're buying?
Yeah. So when you walk a property with me, I teach what I call an investigative approach, and it's a top to bottom, bottom to top type of investigative approach. And what I'm looking for is signs and symptoms of potential issues on the outside of the home that sometimes do or don't transfer to below the home or inside the home. So when I'm talking about that, I'm looking at the roof. What's the ridge line look like? Does it look like it's kind of going like this? Do we have underdecking? Sometimes you'll see a new roof, but it's sloping like this.
Some people put shingles right over a crappy.
So just being aware of whether your shingles are flying off the roof or cracking, starting to become brittle, missing a lot of the granulars. I used to teach the what I call it, the penguin on the street. And there was when there's little crystals in the granulars, but the newer roofs aren't as fancy as some of the other years, it seems. So that I don't teach the penguin walk anymore.
Okay. Past that.
But and then just I think a lot of people don't have a lot of awareness of when they're looking at a property, and to me it's like, are these old wood windows with storm windows over the top? Are they newer vinyl windows? Or the aluminum windows? What kind of year of building are we looking at? I walked a property yesterday that fooled 8 agents. And I was like, do you guys see anything, wrong with this house or notice anything? And, I think most people can see the obvious, but it's only years of experience and repetition that has a trained eye that can really see what they don't see. And I gave them a couple minutes too. I was like, nah, I'm going to let you guys think on that because it's a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
If you didn't notice. And sure enough, it was the whole house looked like a brick house. It was advertised as a brick house.
Gotcha.
It was siding. That was actually pretty good siding.
Really?
One of the better that I've actually seen.
Gotcha.
But I was like, what do you guys think of the tuck pointing here? And they were like, well, that's not brick. And those are the kind of things we do out in the field.
Gotcha.
But a brand new investor, if you don't have that type of trained eye, gets past them all. And that's who those wholesalers are looking to sell a bum deal to.
Yep.
So
you'll walk properties with investors, newer or experienced, and the idea is to help make sure that they know what they're buying. And also, it sounds to me like what you're doing is you're educating them along the way, so they're better at looking at houses in the future.
Yep.
So you talked about maybe a couple services you have. That's one of your services. What else is it?
Yep. So that was the trusted service partner, where I'll take all your photos, video. I can do sales comp, rent comps. I can do a rehab estimate for you, help you assess it. So there's that. That's trusted service partner.
Okay.
Then there's the people who are interested in actually learning how to walk properties and know what I know. And I call that field training. So I'll literally put you in the car with me, and I will pick out 3 to 5 fixer-uppers. And I find the best ones to walk are the ones with like maybe one photo on the MLS. We don't know what we're getting into, so those are great ones to ask me to join you on the appointment, because I'm not afraid to go into most of them. And I teach a lot of street smarts out there. There's a lot of signs and of activity in the neighborhood that I might not even get out of the car, and I wouldn't suggest you do either. So I think walking properties starts blocks away, to a few houses away, to the alleyway. We start there long before we get inside the home.
I love that. That's awesome. So how do you charge for each one of your services? Can you share that a little bit? What's the framework around it?
So I have worked really hard on trying to figure out how to price my services. And I've pretty well landed around my minimum to go to a property is $200.
Okay.
And for just $200, you'll get every bit of 100+ photos of the property, of the right things of the property, and my full video walkthrough. I give the full video. People have tried to get me for cheaper and say they don't want the video. And I'm like, no, you do want the video. Just let me do the video for you. And then now they don't want to ever do it without the video. So it's just part of it. You get it whether you want it or not. And then if you want more, I can do more. Sales comps, I think I'm running those for $35. I could do rent comps, $25, but rent comps is not just rent comps off the MLS. We're looking at rent-to-meter. I'm also have the most up-to-date 2025 per zip code Section 8 requirements. Okay. I can go a step further and say that I've worked for quite a few. I had a guy from New York give me 20 properties last month. So I've actually learned a lot about Section 8 just from working for some people in terms of the measurements. I'm measuring to see if we got 70 square feet for occupancy of 1, 120 square feet occupancy of 2, 220, and so on. But it's different in every municipality, whether they need closets or no closets. But heat source, egress window, walkout door, all those things. So that's what I'm kind of, even my eyes are getting more trained the more I do this.
Yeah, well, absolutely. You're going to continue to learn. We always continue to learn.
Yeah. How
about the field training? How do you price that?
So that has also been difficult to start out with pricing. But I have come up with just flat fee pricing. It's $500 for a half day, and you can have up to 4 people on it. I don't know anyone that's doing anything more affordable or more accessible and more valuable than that. And then I just double it for a full day. It's $1,000, and you can have up to 4 people, so it'd be $250 a person. Yep. And I just take you out all day, and if you're with me all day, we might walk up to 8 to 10 properties. Yeah. I'm getting better at this.
That's awesome.
Being really efficient with the first property always takes like an hour and 15 minutes. And then we wonder how many we're going to get to see, but then they realize how one property going really thorough, they're like, oh my gosh, that's a cast iron stack. Yeah. That's what PVC stack. It really trains their eyes. So.
I think you got an awesome service for investors. It's very affordable too. It's a great way for an investor to learn and get more experience. So I love what you're doing. Anything else you wanted to share that we didn't talk about yet?
um, as an added bonus, I can help with, I can make your entire disposition package if you're a wholesaler out there.
Okay.
Quite a few wholesalers are starting to take advantage of that. I have people wanting me to say I walk the property the first time for $200 for a little bit less. I'll walk it again and check it versus the statement of work with because sometimes they've got construction going on, so
Yep.
I'll be there for the photos at acquisition, and then they get a statement of work. I might go over there and see if the statement of work actually needs to be done or can be redialed. Then I'll walk it again to see if say they're doing a disbursement for a hard money loan, and I'll just be like, well, they're charging for a new bathtub surround and valve body, but all I see is it looks like they just cleaned it.
Gotcha.
So I'm actually finding a lot of investors being taken advantage of, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
And sellers are liars and contractors can be liars. So this is kind of a STL Property Walks at the heart of it is just like my goal is to safeguard newer investors, guide them, and give them way more training than I ever received when I worked for any of these home buying companies.
Yeah.
So.
I love it. I think it's an awesome service you're providing. I like to wrap up these videos with a fun story. So, Kathe, you've been doing this for a long time. You've walked tons of houses. You have had to run across something crazy that really would love to share with the audience. So, give me a story.
I'm just going to go to my first walkthrough tour that I made up before this was ever STL Property Walks. This was like 4 years ago or so. My cousins from Jackson Hole, Wyoming came to visit. And I said, and I really wanted them to move to St. Louis. And I really wanted them to see how affordable and doable this town really was. So I made up a tour called The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, the Beautiful St. Louis. And I threw them in a car. We walked properties we probably never should have walked. My mom and aunts would have been upset that I brought my cousin there. We walked up the stairwell and it said blood gangs.
Oh, geez.
And the third floor ceiling was falling out, and I was like, yeah, we're doing this. I get really excited about that kind of stuff. But we were in the backyard. And I've sent to today never had anything like this happen, but I almost need to stand up.
Okay, go ahead.
She was walking, and whoop, her whole leg down to her hip, and she was,
Wow.
Yeah, hurdled, and lost her whole leg in a hole that was this big. And I went to look at that hole, and it was like 20 foot deep. I don't know what that hole was there for, but I moved like a big old branch or two over the top of it.
Yeah.
So but
was she all right?
Yeah, she was just fine.
Oh, geez.
And
good thing she was young and flexible.
Limber, yeah, limber. We were like, oh my gosh, and she was fine. Now it's just a story that they're probably in the audience tonight, and that's just always that was my first tour.
I love it.
Was them, and they live in St. Louis today, and
that's awesome.
I was the first person to go find their duplex because it was on a snowy day. I got my car stuck almost in the alleyway, and I go, "We're the first ones." I got fresh feet in the snow. No one else has walked this. This is yours, and they got it.
You got it
on
that's
the snow
awesome.
day. So I love snow days and rain days.
Yeah,
never stops me. I love to see leaks. So those are actually the best days to teach out in the field. I've seen upside down. I call it like a unicorn icicle. I don't know. What do they call that?
Stalactite or stalagmite?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. But yeah, it was about 4 foot tall, and seeing frozen pipes and everything. It's all good. But yeah, I'm just kind of been sort of a tomboy all my life, and here I am still walking properties. I think I started actually walking properties on my bicycle at like 5 years old, breaking into homeless houses. Like not homeless, but vacant homes.
Awesome.
So,
well, thanks for the service you provide. I really appreciate it. And thanks for being a member of the Buyers Club vendor team.
Thank you for welcoming me. I'm like super stoked and also scared, but I'm not ready to be ready.
You're ready.
All right.
Perfect.
Cool.